first time. And yeah, look, I'm going to just see how this all goes. The reason I'm testing this out is I got a recommendation from one of my previous viewers. He said this is great. One of the great things about Reststream that I'm finding out is you can uh, simultaneously broadcast to a number of different platforms at the same time for free, which is really cool. So I'm going to see how this all pans out. This might be a great idea or this might be a disaster. We'll see what happens. So if you're joining me for the first time, what I'm about is helping to unlock people's creativity and get more things done using visual communication. And so what that means is I want to help you master the skills of screen capture, screen sharing, and video editing, and also voiceover too, because that can be part of it. All of this so that you can amplify your message and be able to create the things that you want out there in the world. Because there are plenty of subject matter experts, but they have no idea about this, like how to create a course. They know what they need to, or someone needs to create a video for their business. They just don't know where to start. They don't have the time or the inclination to do it, or they just want to get some tips to get started. Well, that's what my channel is about. So what I want to talk about today is a few things. I want to talk about a book that I'm reading to help improve my audio. So some of you might be interested in learning how to do better audio for your YouTube channel, or if you're creating a course, how do you make that sound better? So I'm going to share that book that I'm reading. I'm also going to share a source of free book summaries. If you're interested in learning and consuming books, I'm going to share a free source from where you can get summaries, but also get the audios to go with that for free as a resource. I'm also going to take you behind the scenes on an explainer video that I'm creating for work and the process that I'm following there. Specifically, you're going to see how I put together a mind map and a storyboard, a basic one, mind you. I'm nothing like an artistic storyboard, but just a table. But that's been helping me for the last few years, and other things I've been learning in that process. So, if you are joining live, I would love to hear what books are you reading at the moment. You know, what is it that you're learning about? I'd love to hear what book you're reading right now, and also if you're interested in video generally, what is your biggest pain point right now that prevents you from publishing more or creating more? I'd love to hear what you have to say. So first thing I want to share is what book I'm reading right now. And it's by a guy named Dan Friedman. And he talks about for people who want to get into voiceover, commercial voiceover for the first time, what are some of those fundamental things that will help you become a better voiceover, but from an audio engineer's perspective? Now, this was written 10 years ago, but from what I've been reading so far, a lot of those principles still apply today. And some of the things he's been reinforcing is working collaboratively with a studio, some of the etiquette that you should follow so you're not treading on people's toes and not coming across as inconsiderate. He's been talking about choosing your recording space wisely, which is the thing that I failed to grasp when I was first starting my journey. I thought it was all about the microphone, but it starts with the space that you're recording in. He talks a lot about the different types of frequencies that you want to consider as part of your processing, and a lot more. I've only just started reading this book, but this is a very good one if you're wanting to up your game on audio, or if you have no idea and you don't want to go to become an audio engineer or go to school to do that, then I think this is a really great place to start. So I really do recommend that. So as far as books go, you know, I've tried different things like there's this book summary, Blinkist. I've tried Blinkist. I'm trying out Kindle Unlimited. I've tried Audible. A lot of different services. Scribed was another one I was trying, and for like money reasons and, you know, things not working properly on my phone, I really haven't stuck with one for long term. But this one source that I am finding is pretty cool. a free source of book summaries and audios to go with them. It's it's a site and it's also a YouTube channel. It's called bestbookbits.com. So let's actually go to the website first of all. So this has been created by a fellow Melburnian by the name of Michael Knight, and he started this project I think about 3 or 4 years ago. And incidentally, I actually spoke to him this week. He was having trouble keeping up with his reading habit, becoming a father, and I can totally relate to that. So he wasn't really keeping up with his reading of personal development, and so what he decided to do was to um, write his own summaries, but then record the voiceover and listen to them himself. And so he started doing this, and I think at some point he decided to publish them online, and he started getting a following, and now he's got over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, gets quite a few hits on his website, and he's being followed by Evan Carmichael in the early days of this. So, and having spoken to him this week, he seems like he's really committed to making this go full time and playing the long game. So I've been getting a bit of value in his site. So if I just where am I? I'm just getting lost here. How many tabs have I got open? Too many. Okay, so he's got several different titles here. I've listened to the ones about Schwarzenegger and Sam Walton. Those ones are quite inspiring, but he's got different topics that he covers. Book summaries from A to Z, however you pronounce it. He's got this is going to become his book. He's going to publish this at some point. He's got the free book club, which you just sign up for free with your email, and you get the updates on when his next summary has been completed. So what I found really interesting about my conversation with Michael this week is that when he started, he didn't have the best equipment, and he often had kept mistakes that he made throughout making some of those audio recordings, and now he's got better equipment, and he's really working on he's upping his game, and he's working on some really cool projects. And the lesson I got from that conversation was, you don't have to be perfect to start out. In fact, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to be making mistakes, and production quality is not going to be where you want it to be. You just got to get started. And for him, he was just scratching an itch that he had, finding a solution that he needed. And it so happened that other people found value in it. And having no shame in sharing stuff, which he had admitted, like there was stuff here that isn't perfect. Some summaries are better than others, but I just got it out there, and it reminds me of something that Gary Vee shared that I listened to recently. That he sometimes he says these quotes where you got to be posting like 7 pieces of content. 7 to 25 pieces of content a day across 3 different platforms to be able to really get an impact. But he was saying, I just throw these numbers out. I could say 7, I could say 3, for whatever. It's more that the point is that you got to be putting stuff out there regularly on several platforms, because you just don't know which one of those things are going to really take off. It's like the one-hit wonder would have been making a whole lot of music, and they would not have known which one was going to be their big hit. That you could be one video away, or one song away, one creation away from finding your hit, and you just don't know until you put it out there. And so this is, I think, a lesson for me, because I'm quite perfectionist, and I've prevented myself from publishing so many times. I feel like I've got to get things perfect. If you're in that camp, I feel your pain, but I think we can get over that. And it's the ego that wants to protect us from feeling like we're threatened in some way, and that actually gets in the way of living a fulfilled life, I find. The more that I'm practicing to do these live streams, for instance, I build my confidence, build my knowledge, but I still get comments after the fact, and I'm hoping that this is actually working the way that I think it's meant to be working, because I'm not seeing any comments here as I have in other streams, but hey, let's keep going. So get get do whatever you need to do to just get your first thing created, and then just build on that, because we all have to start from ground zero here, and my intention is to see that you get your creation out there in the world, and a lot of what we're consuming is visual, and there's the audio component as well that I'm interested in. So get do whatever you need to do to get past your first thing to create. Anyway, that's as far as books and learning and getting your message out there. I did want to cover other things too. So if you're joining for the first time, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. So I'm from Melbourne. It is 6 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. It was really chilly yesterday. It was like 3 degrees, which I'm learning to accept after 33 years of being in Australia. I'm just dealing with that. So how's the weather where you're from? Let's go into the behind the scenes of what I'm doing for this explainer video. So I'm working on an explainer video for work for a platform that we're offering to clients. So if they want to, for people who are working in a contact center environment. So if you're a team manager, leader, you would be, at some point you're going to be assessing the quality of what people are doing on the phones or on email. Make sure that the quality control is in place. And so we have a platform, a software that helps you manage those scorecards, those checklists. So I'm doing the explainer video for that, and I'm finalizing it. I'm so close to getting it done. But I showed my colleagues the first 30 seconds of the draft, and I showed them the process that I follow in creating an explainer video, or a high level, like an in-depth tutorial. And I'm going to show you the mind map that I'm using, and also the storyboard that I create. And I'm finding that this has been a really valuable tool. Whoever I show it to, they seem to get a lot of value, or they appreciate the process. So I'm going to share a piece of software. I'm going to show you a software called MindMap, online mind mapping tool. And what this allows me to do is to get my thoughts out of my head and visually in one page, so I can make sure that I'm creating something with a good foundation, and that all of the ideas that are just flowing around in my head get out of my head onto paper, so to speak, in a digital form. And so what I do here, anytime I make it an in-depth tutorial, in-depth explainer video, I run through a set of questions. I ask myself, what is the purpose of what I'm creating? Why does it exist? Why do I want it to exist? So that is often the first question I ask, why? And so for this project here, we wanted to demonstrate how our platform would help organizations manage the quality assurance. And I'll stress, sometimes I don't get these right, but at least I have a framework that I'm sort of following. Next, I will ask, who is this for exactly? That's also a really key question. And so there, I'm sort of answering that. And you can have multiple answers for this. In fact, I think it's not revealing all the ones that I'm thinking there should be. But yeah, so add purpose and audience are really core things there. I also want to know, what is it that I want to achieve from this video? What is it that I want people to do as a result of watching this? And so that forms my objectives. What I want people to do, or what I want them to learn. What are the outcomes that I'm seeking for from this? And so here we're seeking to stimulate interest in the platform, and also create a resource for our sales team to be able to share. So those objectives can come in many forms. So that actually forms the foundation that I want to start with. And yeah, and then everything else I've been adding to this and changing it up. But some other questions that I want to ask myself: what's the core benefit in a phrase? What is that sort of key value proposition that cuts through like a knife? Is say this is what this is all about. Here's the key um, overall reason or benefit that this thing offers. And so I would have come up with a few different things there, systemizing your way to success. Um, and some of these, I'm just spitballing ideas and see which one sort of sticks. And so it's very easy to add something here. I'm hitting tab and I can go one other thing. It's very easy to add to my mind map there. The tone of the video here, I wanted to make it upbeat, yet professional. Sharing some good news there. What's a metaphor? To help explain what this is, I was having trouble here, but someone mentioned that a good metaphor could be that the platform is like a crystal ball. I've sort of gone with that, and that element is there in the video. What's the model that best explains this? So that model can look like a bunch of shapes, or it could be an acronym. And I think in this case, I think I just created something off the top of my head. What's the cost? What is the pain points that we're trying to overcome? In this case, the CPOP, customer point of pain. And so there's a lot of manual handling that goes on if you don't have a platform to do your quality assurance. Anyway, I'm sort of going on a little bit too much here. But then, and also, here are the specific steps that I want to cover. So I do all of this in one go, in one page. And this, I find, has been the foundational thing that I need to do to start reverse engineering a really effective video. And again, I'm still learning a lot. There's still frameworks and distinctions that I need to understand. But this helps organize my thoughts. The other thing I do is to create a storyboard. And that it has simply been putting all those thoughts that you saw in the mind map, it's putting that in a table. And I sort of dump that into a table with the overview at the top. And then I start fleshing out the script. The script then dictates what should be seen on the screen, what visuals will come about. But all of those scripting points will have been inspired from what I did in the mind map. So let's share. I'm just going to share the Word document. Here's the Word document that I use to I guess, order my thoughts now. So mind map is to get my thoughts onto paper. The storyboard is to organize those thoughts. So the overview at the top here sort of goes through some of those key things to be bearing in mind: purpose, audience, and objectives, core benefit, and so forth. That sits at the top. And then I've broken this one up into 3 sections, actually. This table, it breaks down the video by, what part of the video are we up to? Is it the introduction, setting the scene? What point am I sort of covering? So that's that first column. The second column is the narration part. It's the part that I am saying in the video, the voiceover. So that's in there word for word. The last thing is the video elements, and this is just whatever is on the screen. So whether that's, it's just a high-level plan of what I think will be there. And in the past, I've used screenshots. Nowadays, I just put in a description of what would be there. So I had an idea for an intro, which included a logo, and I wanted to incorporate the colors of the logo and create an animation, but I planned it out. Here. So I had it sort of in my mind. I didn't have all the details, but I knew at a high level that's what I wanted to create. And then the next scene was around having a manager, Sean, sitting at a computer frustrated. And I wasn't sure at this stage whether it was going to be stock footage or I knew stock footage, but I didn't know if it was going to be video stock footage or images, or if I was going to use something else like Vyond for some animations there. So, and so this goes all the way from start to finish. I shared this with my colleagues, and then they gave me feedback to make improvements or changes to this. The benefit of having a document like this is several. So if you're a freelancer, for instance, or you're doing client work of some kind, and if you're able to show them a document like this, every time I've done this in some way, it just adds a level of trust and confidence that they're going to get what they want, because they're seeing the video. I guess they're basically seeing what the product's going to look like before you even make it, and so they can have some input as to what that final outcome is going to be. So it provides a lot of peace of mind that this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to happen, and they have a say in the matter. So this has been so valuable over the years, learning how to just do a basic table and organize your thoughts. This is what it's going to look. It's like a blueprint in a way, a living, breathing document. But yeah, it's like a bit of a blueprint. The other thing is it helps in being able to, if you need to delegate some of your activities. Heading back here. So if you need to delegate some of your activities to someone else, like another editor, then having a document like that helps you communicate exactly what you want done in a video. So if you've just got a raw recording and so maybe some screen captures, and you want to hand this over to an editor to say, hey, look, this is what I have in mind. Can you please, follow these steps? They can run with that, and you can be quite specific too. Now in Camtasia, you've got this thing called templates, where you don't necessarily have to have written instructions this way. You can put placeholders and instructions within the project. And so that's another thing you can do. But if you're not using Camtasia, then, I think anything that is going to be of how to put this, anything you're wanting to put a lot of thought into and want to improve the value and the production quality, maximum value of your video in the shortest possible time, get it down on paper in some form of plan. You can make it as detailed, as high level as you want, depending on who's using the storyboard. You might need less detail if you're the one just referring to it. If you're giving it to someone else, it's going to need more detail. Maybe even down to, this is the decibel levels that I want for the intro. And then, this is what the maximum decibels should be. And that's a level of detail you might need to go to depending on who's using that storyboard. But what are your thoughts? So have you ever created a document like this? What value do you get from seeing the mind map and the storyboard? I'd be interested to see all that. And again, I really hope this is working properly through Reststream, because we'll find out. Let's just keep going. A couple of things that as far as this video goes, actually, I should probably show you a few snippets here of what this thing is looking like so far. I don't know whether I can share the system audio, so I'm not going to bother playing it, but I'm just going to scrub through the timeline. So what that storyboard has allowed me to do is to come up with what you're seeing so far were the thoughts in my head, and some of this I just made up on the fly. I'm really happy with this intro. Like, that's just sort of worked out well. I'm really happy with that. And then this idea of having cutouts sliding onto the screen and popping sounds, all this was sort of organic as I was going through this process of making this explainer video, because I wanted it to be upbeat, have a good news message. So you're not going to hear it, but I added all of this stock footage right here. They're PNG, so the background's transparent. Not for actually, is that one the transparent background? No, it's just the stock footage there. I took this from Icons 8. So they have a combination of, they have a number of different assets that you can use. I would not have been able to do this video without having access to this stock footage, which is a combination of, this kind of stuff, but also where you just want the cutout of a person. You can download those from Icons 8, and you can download this for free, use it for free, but you will need to give an attribution to what you're using. Or the paid version, you can start off at like $20 a month, I believe. I can't remember if that's US or Australian dollars there. But it's been really valuable. Icons 8, I'm actually couldn't recommend it highly enough. The stock footage is really good quality. So many different varieties of this one person allows me to create a more cohesive story. I got this icon from Icons 8. That animation is straight from Camtasia using custom keyframes. That was something I haven't done before. I just sort of had it in mind, and I was really stoked that I was able to get that sort of effect going. All of these, again, from Icons 8, I just individual cutouts. I didn't group them together in Camtasia, but they sort of slide on at the same time. And, that goes with the narration. You're not going to hear it. I'm not playing it, but each time you see something pop up like that, there's like a popping sound. And I was trying to find a popping sound on YouTube, and I couldn't find what I was after, or if I clicked in the description, the site wasn't working anymore. And so I thought, well, what if I could just create the popping sound myself? And I did that in Audacity. And so all I did here, there's a wave file here, the waveform. Each of these little blips represents a pop, which I just made with my mouth. All I did was this. Can't even do it now properly. You get the point, right? So I did that, and I got up to as close to the microphone as I could. I'll see if I can demonstrate what I'm doing here. I'll mute that. Okay, so I just did this. Okay, so I did that. So I was zooming in. I saw that I had a few little blips there using my mouth. Then I went over and applied. This is it's called a chain, and it's a preset. An audio engineer helped set this up for me. So it just means that I don't have to manually process the audio to get the most out of it, to polish it up. I just hit apply to current project, and it runs background noise removal, equalization, compression, and normalization. Some of that may mean nothing to you, and I struggle to explain some of those. I'm not even going to bother. But I hit apply to current project, and you see that it works its magic. It's removed background noise. It's balanced it out so that it's like a balance of like the deeper frequencies, higher frequencies, and in mid range. So it's whatever the preset is. It makes it sound more fuller, and then sort of I'm going to stop. That's why I need that sound advice book, because I'm still trying to understand what it is that this stuff does. But essentially, it runs its magic, it polishes it up, and then I imported that into Camtasia. So I've got this under my library here as mouth pop sound. I can put it here on the on the timeline, and here it is. So that is, I have no idea where this is actually going to do this, share this audio here. You can hear my background noise, as in my voice over there. That's how I created that sound. It's staying in my library because I just found that it works so well. And anytime you add a sound effect to an animation, it's such the easiest way to up the production value, and make something more engaging. Add a sound effect to a clicking, like if you're clicking something, you can add a clicking sound. Um, Titles sliding on. Let's find an example. Actually, yeah. So when I had the logo come up, I had a swoosh sound. That makes it sound more dynamic. Here, I don't have any audio for that part. Actually, I've just noticed something there that's I need to fix up. But I could have had some pencil scratching sounds, and in fact, I might even do that. All those little bits and pieces help to add to the quality of what you're doing. It's a lot of fun. Actually, it is really a lot of fun. You see, like I was able to put this together with 3 different images. These are 2 cutouts that I've placed on the canvas, and that's just an image that I put in the background. And so it's layered, and it just fits together. It creates the story that I'm wanting to do. There's no way I could have found a video that happened to communicate that idea all in one. Icon's 8. I'm really enjoying the experience of using that. The songs are trash. So if you're an Australian viewer, if you're familiar with Triple J, it's like listening to Triple J, and it's not like I can't use it for this kind of stuff. Might be okay if you're vlogging, but not for corporate stuff. So they're the things that I've been learning. Just coming back here. Again, I really hope this is working, Reststream. I'm not seeing. The chat is ready to display messages. Click on a message to show it on the screen. Ah, right. Okay. So here I'm just learning something now. I had to click on this option to actually allow chat to display messages. So maybe some of you have been, who knows? Okay. So I'm basically coming to an end now. I feel like I've said enough, and it's time for. Might eat something actually. I'm really hungry. It's really early. But yeah, look, that's all I was going to share today. So again, I want to reiterate a few things. If you're interested in trying to create video, you need some guidance, or if you want to create a video course and you have no idea where to start, if you want some inspiration, some tips, some frameworks to help you craft your ideas and get them into physical reality in a form of video. If you want to follow my journey in voiceover, which I'm trying to document where I'm learning more and more. My YouTube channel is there to help you. So I'd love to hear if you're watching this after the fact. Again, what is your biggest pain point in getting your thing out there in the world? And then I'll make videos to help you with that. I want to understand what it is that the walls that you're coming up against, and I'll see if I can give you some thoughts on that. And I have been able to help people along the way. Thank you so much. The channel's just ticked over 1,000 subscribers, which I'm so honored. It's been 3 years since I published my first tutorial, and to get to this point and to get to 1,000 has been really encouraging and humbling as well. So I want to make sure that I can do more of these things for people and help see people create and unlock their creativity. I'm going to leave it there. I'm starting to jabber on it a little bit. So I hope you're having a great day. If you're just starting, have a wonderful Saturday for those who are in Australia. In the States, I believe it's going to be Friday afternoon. So enjoy your weekend, and I hope that you can take the time in these times to seek to understand where people are coming from, question your own assumptions, and seek to understand before seeking to be understood. Showing compassion and kindness with people who have a different opinion from you. I hope that you can find a place in yourself to do that and get out of your comfort zone, and see if we can live in a more peaceful, understanding world. which means we got to be listening and understanding people that have different points of view. There's a lot of outrage at the moment, and I guess let's be okay with that. Um, there are certain things that aren't okay, and I guess this is where wasn't planning to go here, but I think people have the right to express their thoughts and protest. I don't think it's okay to loot and riot, for instance. That's not productive. I think it's okay for people to express their views on what their thoughts are on BLM or ALM. I think it's okay to express your thoughts. Um, I am troubled when I see a lot of judgment though going either way. If someone doesn't think the way you do, and then you full on just like label them and like just try to burn them down. I don't think that's productive. But I think what is productive is seeking to understand first. So let's do more of that, and let's be a bit kinder to one another, and let's be open as much as we can. So I'll leave it there. Anyway, have a good day, guys, and